that you speaking of nowhere on anybody, either one of our radars, how do we then move with caution? How do we move in the right direction? I think that's what a lot of our listeners want to know.
Yeah, I don't know the answer. I do know this. I think that some of us, and especially this is a hot topic, I think that there should be boundaries set up.
Mm-hmm.
If you really get to know someone, here's a big deal. If they can say no to sex at first, then, or you don't have sex with them and they still trying to get to know you, that's somebody you might want to keep. If from the get, you guys start having sex through the whole relationship or the time you guys are talking, there might be somebody you might not want to talk to. Why? Because I don't think they will be invested into the relationship because they got the goods already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if someone's willing to be in a relationship and they're not trying to get in your drawers, like honestly, that's not a hot topic. Nobody wants to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I need to know this if it's good before I get married because I'm gonna be spending the rest of my life with this.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what most people say.
Wow.
We don't talk about it, but that's the truth. So my thing is that if we talked about it a little bit, but let's go into this. But the commitment thing, I think a lot of people do not have commitment. They're not committed in that relationship or willing to be committed in their relationship. I don't want to lock myself down. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I mean, you have this void in you. You could tell because some people, what they do is they have this void where they want to be committed.
Yeah.
And so they bouncing around instead of just saying, okay, I'm just going to be committed to the process of really getting to know this person and really maybe spend a life with someone that really is going to be beneficial to me and I'll be beneficial to them.
They want the idea of commitment and what commitment looks like, but they don't want the work of commitment.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
What do you think about it? Go ahead.
You talking to me? I'm going to look at Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, my thing with commitment, if every relationship, I think it is foundation. One of the foundations is to be able to know that I can count on you, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a partnership, business. I need to know, can I count on you? Because I think when you go into a relationship, each person, each participant is bringing and investing a certain part of themselves. And, I want to know that this investment is, our banks, they call them FDIC insured. If you ever look on your bank statement, look on your stuff from your bank, it's an FDIC insured bank regulating entity, which means that the Federal Reserve insures the money that's in that bank. So if something happens to that bank, you can get your money back because it's insured. I think we want a level of insurance in our relationships, and commitment is that insurance. Commitment is that thing that says, I'm committed to you because I've invested. I'm investing myself into this, and I need to have that mutually. You know what I'm saying? And so if we don't have that commitment one to another, then I do play with my cards to my vest. I do keep my options open. You know what I'm saying? So I don't fully give myself to this person, which then causes frustration in them, because they want somebody who gives themselves fully, but then they may not give themselves fully. How can you expect something from me you're not willing to give yourself? Yeah. I think is the real question. Wow.
Angie says she thinks it's important for us to be equally yoked. What do you feel about that?
I definitely agree with that. I mean, that's Bible, And let's break that down. Equally yoked. Does that mean that we agree on everything? No. Doesn't mean we agree on everything. Doesn't mean that we're twinsies. To be equally yoked means we're on the same footing. We're on the same platform. Our desires, our end game is similar. If I'm equally yoked, means I want the same things you want, and I'm willing to move in the same direction that you're moving, because we can want the same things, but then you rob a bank. I get a job. We want the same thing. But we're not approaching it from the same vantage point. You know what I'm saying? If I'm equally yoked and I want a house that's full of peace, that's full of love, then I'm going to approach those things from the same playbook that you're approaching them. Which means, okay, if I want to know that there's trust in the house, then I'm not going to let my eye wander. I'm not going to fall for the compliment from the from that tenderoni over there. That's what I did. I just dated myself.
Yeah, you did.
I just dated myself.
Tenderoni.
Brian over here. I was before my time. I wasn't born then. But that cute one in the office, at the break room, if commitment, if a healthy whole marriage, a healthy whole relationship is our goal, and we're on the same, we're working out the same playbook, I'm not going to give myself to that. You know what I mean? It's
that's the next part. The next part of this question is, how does this person bring value to my life? That's the question. She was saying we should ask that question.
Wow.
And that's exactly what you just said. Like, are we on the same? Are we going to be on the same page and getting toward this right here?
Yes.
Are you going to bring value to my life? Or are you going to decredit me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, are you devalue me? Like, if you come to me, and it's not. I'm going to depreciate.
Yes.
After we leave this church, this ceremony,
yes,
I might not want you to be on my team.
Exactly.
Are we going to be a winning team?
Exactly. If you're pulling me away from healthy things, then you might be a liability and not an asset. That's one thing. Even in couples and that we counsel, my wife and I, we counsel. And I can almost tell. A lot of the fellas, they'll come to the church because the girl come to the church. Or some of the girls, they'll come to the church because the girl come to church. But as soon as they get what they want, it's fade to black.
Yeah.
They follow the lead. You know what I'm saying? They follow the lead, and pretty soon you pulled away. Anything that pulls you away from healthy things,
yeah,
it need to sound an alarm in your spirit.
Yeah.
It need to sound an alarm. I don't care how good his hair is. I don't care how broad his shoulders are. I don't care how good she cooked. If it's pulling you away, that's not just relationships. If your career is pulling you away from healthy things, now that's a whole nother topic right there, I think.
Yeah.
If there's a commitment, I'm committed to God, that means what I perceive to be a blessing is not going to interfere with my continued growth and development. Does that make sense? I don't know. That's the people that we're talking to now who they're getting promotions, but it's pulling them away from those spiritual things. You know what I'm saying? It's pulling them away from being, continuing to being a disciple. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if I'm not going to put it all on the blessing itself. I'm not going to put it all on the blessing itself. But I think if we don't have a standard, we don't have, there's some things that are non-negotiable. Then we'll fall for those things.
No, you were gonna say something. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll chime into this because this is actually gonna change it up a little bit. But I want to hear what you gotta say.
It's funny we're talking about commitment because I actually wrote something on commitment.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just something really brief, nothing too deep, but I always gotta put in my artistic perception. So commitment is something that's foreign, like Lamborghinis, touching on it for a while, but then wishing for another. But where's the genie? Girls that want to slow down, but boys that want to meet the world, like Mr. Feeney. Or you got the overcommitted and super clingy. The make out before after class and the bell rings. And the don't let me go and I won't let you go. And don't got time for your girls no more. And the last time you ain't got time for your girls no more and don't know the last time that you seen your bros. So that's just something I wrote. But basically it's like, if I chimed in just a tad bit is right. Like I feel like commitment is something that's really an anomaly these days. It's not something that we see quite often. I know, I don't know the specific statistic, but I know that maybe in, let's say, like the 70s or the 80s, more people were getting married and slowing down around our age, 23. You know, my age, 23, and now that age is going up now. People don't want to slow down until their 30s now. They don't want that because I think someone said it. You know, commitment is looking more as a liability, is more than an asset now. And I'm saying that because I'm 23 years old.
Wow.
And I'm going to be completely honest. Settling down right now looks further than close. It looks way down the road for me. It doesn't look like it is anywhere close. I think because one of the examples that's been set before and this isn't, you know, a shot of anybody, but just for me growing up, I never saw what commitment looked like.
Wow.
So me getting in anything that looked like committed looked like
foreign.
Yeah, absolutely. So commitment to me, I was like, yeah, probably not. You know, I'm just gonna keep doing what I do. But I am, as I'm growing older, I am seeing the necessity and the need for commitment. But I would say I don't see that happening for me anytime soon.
Wow. Angel Lynn got a question. She is off the hook. I like Angel Lynn. She's
Ange. It's my little sister right there.
What?
Yeah, it's my little sister right there. Go ahead, answer it.
Because the question is, she said, is talking about the gift of singlehood. Do you think the church puts an emphasis on marriage? I think about what Paul says. Simply because we're in this flesh, he says it's better to marry than to burn. And if you look at Paul, by all accounts, Paul was single. Mm-hmm. By all accounts, I don't see historically where Paul was married. Mm-hmm. So Paul was writing to a group who he understood their issues. Mm-hmm. And I think I would say yes, the church can put a weightier. They can lean heavy on being married, simply, and I say like this, simply because most of those who are heavy-handed with that struggle with keeping themselves in the first place. I'm gonna be honest. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of seasoned saints that I know. You know, you need to get married. But if you dig deep in their history, it's because they couldn't hold themselves. Mm. You know, I think singleness and singlehood, God loves them both. I think God loves them both. As a matter of fact, I mean, look at Paul wrote 2/3 of the New Testament and affected, you know, how church should be. He was the bishop of the church, the first church, you know, and he was single. And being single keeps you single-minded. It keeps you focused on the main thing. When you are married, now your focus is divided, and that's not bad. You know, it just is what it is. You know, so I think to answer your question, I think the church can put a heavy weight, put more of a weighted responsibility on marriage, and we see it in programs. A lot of our programs are geared toward families, and I'm gonna come from an economical standpoint. The church loves families because families is where most money is. Can I say that? Can I say that?
That's good. That's true.
You know, but if you really think about it, a single person has less overhead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right about that.
I mean,
yeah,
but that's from an economic standpoint. Most church leaders, they want and families put behinds in seats. Families fill up your church. Mm-hmm. So, you know, the more families I got, the fuller my church looks. Did I just snatch a cover off something I shouldn't have?
I think sometimes things need to be talked about.
So Ange, I believe God loves singleness. God, He loves the single person just as much as the married person. Mm-hmm. You know,
but is singlehood a gift?
Yes.
You know, like I'm thinking about the Missy Elliott song. Hormones jumping like a Crisco, you know, because at some point in time, it can't. Yeah, it is a gift. I want you to answer that question, but at some point in time, if your mind is going that way, like Paul said,
Yeah.
instead of be
Yeah.
burning over there, you might as well go ahead
Might
and
as
get
well.
married.
Yeah. I think it is a gift. I think it